say that Christmas is on its merry way, and for every single child there's a gift.
Day 5 of Vlogmas already. Wow. I don't know about you, but the days are flying by. Hi friends, welcome back to Bucket List Homestead. If you're new here, my name is Lynn. Welcome. And we've got a few things we're going to do today. I am sharing a treat because it is the 12 treats of Christmas that I am doing the first 12 days of the month. And I'm adding all of these to a playlist called Vlogmas 23. So if you've missed any of the previous treats, you can go back and look at them. And first thing I'm going to do is I flash froze the macaroons from yesterday. And I'm going to get them in my Ziploc bag now that they have frozen, and get these back into the freezer. And I like to write on my bag the temperature and how long, just because, one, I won't have to haul out my recipe card again if I've put them all away, if I've been super organized. And it might not be only me who hauls these out to bake them. And I'm pretty sure I'm hoping I can get all of them into one bag. Really happy with the way these turned out. And as I said, we're making a couple of things today. So the cookie we're going to make today are sugar cookies, my mother's favorite. This is a recipe I have been using forever. It's actually Martha Stewart's rolled sugar cookie recipe, and it is fabulous. It is easy, it is delicious. These are so good. You can frost them. 99% of the time we don't frost them. I do sprinkle sometimes a little bit of sugar on top of them before they bake, but we love them without all the frosting. They're delicious. Like I said, they're easy. The dough freezes fabulously, which is what I need today. So I'm going to make a double batch. So I have some for here and some for the tray platter. I am doing that for David's work. And I might bake off a couple just so you can see them. I'll roll out a few, get out a cookie cutter or two, get Gracie to find me my Christmas cookie cutters, and I'll just cut out one, maybe 4, just so you can see them baked up. But I will be baking these off. Anything I'm freezing, I will be baking off next week, and I will be sharing that with you. So don't feel like you're not gonna see any. So they all fit in one bag. They are gonna go back into the freezer. And the other thing I am making today is something I need for tomorrow's cookie. I'm making homemade Nutella. I made this last Christmas as one of my copycat videos that I was doing, and I'm hoping to bring those back in the new year. By the way, I have a couple of ideas of things I want to try and copycat. Not always a sweet, sometimes it's savory, and I have a few savory things I want to try and copycat. But yeah, I made it last year, and the recipe I was following used granulated sugar, and if I just stopped to think for just 1 second, I would have realized that's going to be awful grainy. It was delicious, but it was grainy. Today I'm going to make a batch with powdered sugar, which makes much more sense. And you will need, I'm going to be using my Ninja blender for that, and because I need Nutella for tomorrow's cookie I'm making. I'm really excited about this one. This one sounds so good. And I feel like there was one more thing I was going to do today. I put the cookies away. Okay, no, that was it. That was 3 things. So I'm going to get these back into the freezer, the macaroons, and we are going to get started on the sugar cookies. So for this recipe, I am doubling it, but I'll give you the ingredients for a normal batch. 2 cups of unbleached all-purpose flour, a 1/4 teaspoon of salt, a 1/2 teaspoon of baking powder, 1 stick or 1/2 cup of unsalted butter, room temp, 1 cup of sugar, 1 large egg, 2 tablespoons of brandy or milk, I'm using milk, and a 1/2 teaspoon of vanilla. Now, because I know me, I wrote down beside here, because I am doubling this, I wrote down what the double ingredients are. So in my KitchenAid, I already have my 2 cups of sugar. And to that, I'm going to add my 1 cup of room temperature butter, and I just kind of cut it up into a little bit smaller pieces just so it will incorporate a little bit quicker. So yeah, so we want to cream those together as usual. Okay. And we want this to get light and fluffy. Once it's gotten light and fluffy, then we're gonna add our 2 eggs while it's running slowly and get them incorporated. Okay, so in here, I not only have 2 eggs, but I also have the milk and the vanilla. And we're gonna try and do this. Actually, I know it says while running, but I'm gonna do a little bit. And that's gonna get whipped till it's white and fluffy. And another bowl, I'm gonna add all my dry ingredients. Video, don't forget to give me a big thumbs up, and if you haven't subscribed, please hit the subscribe button, and don't forget to hit the little bell so you know when all the new videos, especially for this month, are coming out. I forgot, you need to chill this for at least an hour before you bake it, and I'm just not going to do that because they got to go and I'm going to be freezing them anyway. So yeah, so you need to chill this for an hour. What we're going to do is, you normally, a regular batch, you put into plastic wrap, divide it into half, kind of flatten it out. I'm going to do 4, where I made a double batch. Get some of my plastic wrap out. One. So depending on obviously how thick and how big of a disc you made, each one of these discs, the recipe says 1/8 inch. I typically do about a 1/4 inch thick when I roll these out. We like ours a little bit softer than crunchy for sugar cookies. I do about a 1/4 inch, and they bake anywhere from 9 to 10 minutes roughly. But each one of these typically gets me anywhere from 12 to 15 cookies. And what's great about this is, if I just want to do 1 batch for David's work, I have it all done, and I can do a batch, and then I have 3 batches left. And I might not even make all these for this Christmas. I could just save them, and in the new year, if somebody's wanting some cookies, we can pull them out and make them. So, okay, into the freezer these are going. Okay, it is time for the Nutella. So, homemade Nutella. You are going to need 2 cups of hazelnuts. Now, the 2 bags I bought, of course, are about 1 ounce or so, not 8 ounces. They came to like 7 ounces something. Of course they did, and I'm not buying a 3rd bag for a lousy little bit. So I'm going to just adjust this a little bit. But you need 2 cups of hazelnuts, 1 cup of powdered sugar, 1/3 cup of cocoa powder, 2 tablespoons of some kind of oil. I'm using liquid coconut oil, a teaspoon, well, vanilla is in the recipe, but Grace and I took a vote, and we decided we're going to try the chocolate extract in this one, and a teaspoon of salt. Now, I put the hazelnuts in the oven at 350 for 10 minutes, and you need a bowl with the lid, and we're going to shake these to get those peelings off. And as they peel, you can take the ones that are already peeled out, and you're going to need a food processor. So we're just going to plop them into the food processor. And so after 5 minutes of shaking these hazelnuts in 2 different bowls, there's some, like there's that, I am realizing I should have spent the money and bought the Nutella organic hazelnut spread. It has just gone up so much that I didn't want to spend the money. But let me tell you, it would have been worth every penny because not only do I have a mess, this took forever. And I've given up and there are a few peelings. I just cannot get some of the peelings off of these. I don't care. I figure if I grind it up fine enough, we'll never know the difference. We're just gonna put them in the food processor and let them go for like 5 minutes. And that's 5 minutes. So I had to keep stopping, obviously to scrape and stuff, but that's perfect. You want to start seeing some oils come out. So basically you're making, hazelnut butter. All right. Oh, that smells so good. Grace was out here when I was struggling with those peelings and said, oh my gosh, why they smell so good? I said, because I roasted them, but whoo, those were a pain. Okay. It's gonna be worth it. It's gonna be worth it. That's what I keep telling myself. All right, now we are going to add everything all at once. So there is our cup of powdered sugar, and I'm using organic powdered sugar. Our cocoa, 1/3 cup. We need a teaspoon. It is 1 teaspoon, yep. Teaspoon of salt. That seems like an awful lot to me. I didn't use a full teaspoon. I might be wrong, but I used about 3/4. And a teaspoon of our chocolate extract. Okay, maybe a little more. And we're gonna mix it all up. Almost forgot, I needed 2 tablespoons of the oil. The recipe does call for hazelnut or walnut oil. Wow, were those expensive. So yeah, I did not get them. I'm just using my trusty coconut oil that I like. They were really expensive, really, and they weren't even very big bottles. Okay, back to blending. So clearly, this homemade Nutella is gonna be my nemesis. I end up adding another 2 tablespoons of the coconut oil because it was so dry and it was like a paste. It wasn't creamy, and this is what it looks like. It's more like a frosting, but I am putting this primarily in some cookies tomorrow. So there's your little hint into tomorrow. It's cookies, some Hintland, but yeah, so I don't think it's gonna matter. I am gonna taste it. It tastes like Nutella, and it's creamier. It's definitely not gritty like last year. So be sure and come back tomorrow for day 5 of Vlogmas and day 5 of the 12 treats. Whew, it's hard to say. 12 treats of Christmas, and see what I'm gonna make with the homemade Nutella we made today. See you tomorrow.